So let me read to you what, because Ryan Kondo came out and said specifically it wasn't a poison or anything, because a lot of people were confused. Ryan Kondo on why they brought Rhaenyra back for House of the Dragon season 2. He says, quote, instead of warfare or dragons or images of horror, it was really more of him being haunted by these people who he had done wrong by in his past, particularly Young Rhaenyra. That's the girl who took his claim, not Elder Rhaenyra, played by Emma Darcy. It's that vision of Rhaenyra that removed him as the heir to the throne, and then was named heir and took his claim. As you'll see, as you see his story at Harrenhal unfold, there is an element of Daemon having to reckon with his past and choices that he's made and things that he's done. People were very confused on what that was, because last night we even said it, like we thought it was he got poisoned, but Ryan Kondo had to come out and say that because a lot of people were confused. So it was a very telling what Harrenhal truly is, and it looks like that's what happens in Harrenhal pretty much.
So so now going off that perspective, we now know that Daemon can be broken, but only within his own mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only time we've ever seen him really not be himself. We saw him cry. We've never seen that before. That's the only point of weakness we've ever seen so far.
And that was improvised, by the way, him crying.
Really?
It wasn't in the script.
Fantastic acting.
Exactly, right? Exactly.
That's great. But yeah, no, he well now I know that. That's great. I mean, his reaction and everything, but that whole scene is wild anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You wronged Rhaenyra, at least the young version. Maybe that's how he sees it in his perspective, but the fact that she's sewing up Jaehaerys is crazy.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, this is wild. The fact that they did it already in episode 2 when they were going through the walking him through the city.
Yeah,
that was crazy, and that they put him back on anyway. And then we got to see it again in someone else's perspective, someone he wronged. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's just how beautiful. I mean, of course, the scene was beautiful, but the writing in this season has been just top notch so far. And scenes like that it tell us why. Like it's just little scenes like that is what makes this show so good. And when we first seen Daemon cry for the first time, it told us that, like you said, he can break, but within his own head. And kind of like the Targaryens in general, that they can't be defeated unless it's them defeating each other. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
Yep.
I do want to say another thing about that scene is when I do want to know who it was that was trying to push his door open. When with the scene first starts, he has the swords in the door, and someone's trying to really get in there. They kind of knock or just push on the door a little bit. Then they try to force. Who was he thinking of? Because let's say he already started his hallucination at that time. Who is that trying to bust down his door?
Probably Blood. Probably Blood.
I think I'm gonna assume this just because I kind of want this to be my theory, but like a young Viserys.
Okay, I like that.
His brother, because he had done his brother wrong at some point, but I think that might be a cool little aspect to it.
Yeah. Alyssa, we're gonna start answering a little bit of questions, guys, real quick. So, do you think Daemon knows about ULF, considering he's frequently at bars, pleasure houses, and ULF seems to be pretty popular in town? So, for those two, or for you guys, if you guys don't know who that was, he was the white-haired guy who was claiming to be the half brother of Daemon and Viserys. I do, Alyssa. I think he has a lot of confidence because what. ULF was saying everything with confidence, and he didn't care who. I mean, he did in a way care who heard, but he wasn't subtle about it. He was almost like, "Yeah, I'm him. I'm this guy," and like he didn't really. He was just telling the stranger. He just said, "Oh, you're from I think he said Pentos or something like that, or the guy who he was talking to." So he didn't care who knew. So I think he does know because he had Daemon's back. Or not Daemon's back. He had Rhaenyra's back, which is the team that Daemon's on. So I do think Daemon had knows him for sure. But what about you guys? Did anything tell in that part from them knowing him knowing or Daemon knowing who he was?
I thought it was crazy that he was spouting off about Rhaenyra boldly in the kingdom of the usurper, bro. Like, you're speaking wild, and then the one person you don't want to hear you walks in the door.
Yep.
Like, you are tripping. But yeah, I think Daemon probably knows that he has either some bastard brothers out there, or definitely knows about what's going on, knows that there are other people other than just them, but they have no claim to the throne as far as he's concerned.
Yeah.
Well,
I would agree with all that. I think that Daemon most likely knows about him. At least he's. I mean, they set this up, and by the way, they set it up with like a really cool shot because the one girl's kind of walking down the alley, and then he kind of walks up. They switch focus and then follow him into the inn, and then just as he's saying hi to everybody. It's one of the most realistic feeling scenes of, like, because we've all done that, right? Like walking to a party where you know people and you're like, oh, hey, what's up? I can't believe you're here. That was the way that they filmed it was so cool because it was obviously you knew a bunch about him just from meeting him for the very first time. It was like he knows everybody in here. Everybody in here likes him. That's very unusual in Game of Thrones. Like, you don't usually walk into a room and everyone likes you. They might all be like afraid of you, but they don't usually like you. So the way that whole scene was filmed was awesome, and how it characterized him as a person playing in this larger game was really artfully done. I thought from just a really. I mean, how long is he on screen for? Like, not longer than 45 seconds or something. You know?
Yeah. It was funny because once they switched from her to him, to me and Tony paused it, and I go, look at his hair, and he goes, what? I'm like, his hair is silver, bro. I go, he's a Targaryen. And he goes, wait a minute. So he kind of backed up a little bit, and then we watched him walk all the way through again. And then sure, like 10 seconds later, he's like, oh, yeah, I'm a Targaryen, bro. What's up?
It's fucking hilarious, man.